Okay, let's start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjanashalakaya. Chakshurunmilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale. Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatharini. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay. Okay. 7.19. Bahunam janmanam ante gnanavan mam prapadyate vasudevas sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlabha. After many births and deaths, who is actually knowledge, the gnani, actually knowledge means gnani, gnanavan, surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. So, like in the previous verse, the discussion about all these four types of sukritina, and in that Krishna says, Udara sarva evaiti gnani tva atmaiva me matam. I consider this gnani to be myself. Why did I consider him to be myself? Because Bhunam Janmanam Ante, he surrendered to me knowing that I am the cause of all causes. So that is why Krishna, Gnani is dear to Krishna when he surrenders to Krishna. The living entity, while executing devotional service or transcendental rituals, after many, many births, may actually become situated in transcendental pure knowledge. That the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the ultimate goal of spiritual realization. Prabhupada is generally saying devotional service. Basically, here in the context of Gnani, they might become situated in transcendental pure knowledge that Vasudeva Sarvamiti. In the beginning of spiritual realization, while one is trying to give up one's attachment to materialism, there is some leaning towards impersonalism. But when one is further advanced, he can understand that there are activities in the spiritual life and that these activities constitute devotional service. Okay, and this is mainly because when one gives up attachment to karma, natural progression is towards gnana. But Prabhupada is saying, but when one is further advanced, so this gnani, after he further advances, then he comes to devotional service. Realizing this, he becomes attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and surrenders to him. At such a time, one can understand that Lord Sri Krishna's mercy is everything, that he is the cause of all causes, and that this material manifestation is not independent from him. So this we also should realize. Lord Krishna's mercy is everything. He realizes the material world to be a perverted reflection of spiritual variegatedness and realizes that in everything there is a relationship with the Supreme Lord Krishna. This is also for us to practice. Actually, this till we come to the stage of realization, Vijnana, we should actually practice this. Meaning, whatever we see, which apparently looks like not having a relationship with Krishna or not connected to Krishna, we should understand that it is connected to Krishna. Good, bad, ugly, everything is connected to Krishna. Right? So we have to make this effort, connect everything to Krishna. And then actually there won't be anything in this world which is inauspicious for us or which is not good. Because everything is Krishna. When you start looking at this world with that perspective, saying that everything is Krishna, then na sochati na kankshati, then we come to Brahma Bhuta. Right? So it's very important actually. Instead of waiting for this realization to happen, this is a matter of practice. It's a matter of first developing a vision, then realization will happen, because then we will start acting on a level when we will get Krishna's mercy and we will actually get the realization. But till we are able to see everything as see the super soul in every living entity. We should start looking at everything considering that it is all belongs in it. Everything has a connection with Krishna, which is true. I mean, it's not some assumption. It's true that everything is connected to Krishna because Krishna is the origin of everything. Thus he thinks of everything in relation to Vasudeva or Sri Krishna. Such a universal vision of Vasudeva precipitates one's full surrender. Precipitates one's full surrender means what? Like it will make sure that he will surrender because anything and everything that I see in this material world is Krishna. So then I don't have to try and achieve or get anything, any material object in this material world because anyway it is Krishna. So and he realizes, okay, then let me get Krishna only as the highest goal. Why get all these other things which are created by Krishna? I will try to get Krishna only. So Prabhupada is saying such surrendered great souls are very rare. Actually, sometimes, it looks like uh, process Srila Prabhupada has given is so like it doesn't look like it's some very big thing. And as soon as we come into Krishna consciousness, we start hearing this, saying that Krishna is the goal of our life. And all of us actually, in some form or the other, we want to achieve Krishna as the highest goal. So actually, we are surrendered great souls in that sense, and to the extent that we don't have any other material desire. So such great souls are very rare. That is the reason why when we go to preach Krishna consciousness, it's not very easy. When we ask people stop sense gratification, it's not very easy because not everybody is a great surrendered soul. So those who are surrendered to this path, we might not be completely pure today. That's okay. We will become pure in course of time, Krishna willing, and provided we don't goof up. Right? But just that intention of completely surrendering to Krishna, it is very, very rare. This verse is very nicely explained in the third chapter of Shvetashvatana Upanishad. Sahasra Shirsha Purusha Sahasrakshasa Srapat Sabhumim Vishwato Vrita Vritva Tya Tishtat Dashangulam Purusha Evedam Sarvam Yad Bhutam Yadcha Bhavyam Utamrutatva Seshano Yad Annena Tirohati. Lord Vishnu has thousands of heads, thousands of eyes, and thousands of feet, entirely encompassing the whole universe. He still extends beyond it by 10 fingers breadth. By 10 fingers breadth. I don't know what that means. He's in fact this entire universe. He's all that was and all that will be. He's a Lord of immortality and all that is nourished by food. In the Chandogya Upanishad, it said, Navai vacho na chakshumshi na shrotrani na manamsiti achakshate prana iti eva chakshate prano hi evaitani sarvani bhavanti. In the body of a living being, neither the power to speak, nor the power to see, nor the power to hear, nor the power to think is the prime factor. It is a life which is the center of all activities. Similarly, Lord Vasudeva, or the personal God and Lord Krishna, is the prime entity in everything. In his body, there are powers of speaking, hearing, mental activities, etc. But these are not important if not related to the Supreme Lord. And because Vasudeva is all pervading and everything is Vasudeva, the devotee surrenders in knowledge. Okay, I'm not sure what this 10 fingers breadth means, but yeah, generally message is that Krishna is the most important. Shastra actually calls Vastu, thing, but he's what we have to all achieve. We have to achieve Krishna's mercy. That is the goal of our life. So the devotee surrenders in full knowledge that there is nothing else but Vasudeva. Vasudeva Sarvam. He is everything. Okay. 7.20. कामैस्तैस्तैर्हृतज्ञानाः प्रपद्यन्तेऽन्यदेवताः तं तं नियममास्थाय प्रकृत्या नियता स्वया. Those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires Intelligence stolen by material desires. So that means that engaging intelligence in material things is stolen property. Because Krishna has given us intelligence not to use it for material desires or getting material desires. So such people surrender to demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own natures. So which means Sattva Guna, Raja Guna, Tamo Guna, there are demigods and they will worship, or like we discussed the other day, people in Raja Guna might worship demons, and Tamo Guna, ghosts and spirits, etc. Those who are freed from all material contamination surrender unto the Supreme Lord and engage in his devotional service. Material contamination. So we might not be completely freed, but still we are on the path. So we are not completely surrendered to Krishna. We are not engaged in pure devotional service, but we are somewhat surrendered and somewhat engaging in mixed or impure devotional service. As long as the material contamination is not completely washed off, they are by nature non-devotees. Of course, Prabhupada is so we should think about ourselves as non-devotees so that we can make progress. But here, this is non-devotees is for those who are not even surrendered to Krishna. But those who are surrendered, they are still devotees. But even those who have material desires and who want to resort to the Supreme Lord are not so much attracted by external features. Because of approaching the right goal, they soon become free from all material lust. So this is akama sarva kama. Okay. In the Bhagavatam, it is recommended that whether one is a pure devotee and is free from all material desires, or one is full of material desires, or one desires liberation from material contamination, he should in all cases surrender to Vasudeva and worship him. So that is why even somebody who has sarva kama, if he surrender to Krishna, then he is a devotee. He is just a mixed devotee, mixed devotion. Right? But what Prabhupada says here, saying that if material contamination is not completely washed off, they are non-devotees, it refers to those who don't surrender to Krishna, but who surrender to demigods. Less intelligent people who lost their spiritual sense take shelter of demigods for immediate fulfillment of material desires. Generally, such people do not go to the Supreme Personality of Godhead because they are in the lower modes of nature, and therefore worship demigods. So he is saying ignorance and passion, because even if you are in the mode of goodness, we will come to Vishnu, not Krishna. If you are in ignorance and passion, then we'll worship other living entities or demigods. Following the rules and regulations of worship, they are satisfied. The worshippers of demigods are motivated by small desires and do not know how to reach the supreme goal. But devotee of Supreme Lord is not misguided, because in Vedic literature there are recommendations for worshipping different gods for different purposes. This is man recommended to worship sun. Those who are not devotees of the Lord think that for certain purposes demigods are better than the Supreme Lord. But a pure devotee knows that the Supreme Lord Krishna is the master of all. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said, Ekale Ishvara Krishna Arasavabhritya. Only the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is master, and all others are servants. Therefore, a pure devotee never goes to demigods for satisfaction of his material needs. It depends on the Supreme Lord, and the pure devotee is satisfied with whatever Krishna gives. So this is also another very, very important feature, that we should be satisfied. This is very difficult, because generally, even as devotees, dil mange more. We are not satisfied with whatever situation we are in. We always think that there should be some other methods. There should be should be better. Actually, I'm trying to serve Krishna, but my body is not supporting. Okay, let me desire good health. Okay, I'm trying to serve Krishna. I don't have enough money. Okay, let me desire wealth. So till the time we become actually satisfied with whatever we have, we cannot be called pure. Even if it means for Krishna's service, see, this hankering for anything or wanting something, If does it mean that Krishna doesn't know that, so for example, if I don't have good health, that me getting good health will help me or not in bhakti? Does Krishna know that or does not know that? By asking for it, we are not, it means that we have not completely depending on Krishna, because we think that if you're dependent on somebody, then that person, we have confidence that that person will take care of us in all situations. But if you are going to ask Krishna for something, that means that we have actually not completely, we are not completely dependent on him. And we are wondering, okay, whether Krishna will really do this. Should I, maybe I should ask him. Maybe in some cases we might think I should tell him this is the solution. So then we are not pure. So we have to become pure, we have to become detached. If we detach ourselves from material things, then we will not ask Krishna for anything. Then we'll become pure. And then we'll be satisfied with whatever Krishna gives. So that is why this Vairagya Vidya, Nija Bhakti Yoga. So as we practice bhakti, we should actually automatically develop renunciation. We'll develop renunciation for many things, but for few things, like Krishna says in Bhagavatam, he says that everybody is attached to something, some one thing, one or two things in this material world, which they cannot, it's very difficult for them to get over. So those things we might not very naturally, we might not develop detachment to those things because they're very dear to us. So in those cases, we have to practice to develop detachment from those things. It might be different for different people. So each of us have to introspect, saying what in this material world is very dear to me, and understand that that is standing between me and Krishna, and say, okay, I have to give this up. And it's only possible by just dropping it, by developing Vairagya. Of course, we depend on Krishna. We don't depend on our own strength to do this, but we depend on Krishna. But the whole point is that we should be satisfied, otherwise we can't make progress, tangible progress. Okay. Anybody has any questions, you can kindly ask. Otherwise, I'll just move.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Like practicing like Vairagya detachment means how actually? Example.
Practicing like, yeah, for example, practicing detachment. I can say somebody is very attached to family. Then he will never be satisfied because he's always worried. Oh, what will happen to this? What will happen to that? Oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. So his mind is, while he might be practicing Krishna consciousness, but because of all these attachments, he's full of anxiety. So he cannot really think about Krishna or do devotional service without, and then he'll end up asking Krishna, Krishna, give me this, give me that, etc., etc. So he has to develop detachment. So suppose there are 10 things which cause anxiety to that person, then maybe one of the easiest of those he should pick up and say, okay, going forward, I will not become, anxious about this, because anyway, Krishna is in control, and I'm depending on Krishna, and anyway, I'm not the proprietor of the home. Krishna is the proprietor, so he will take care. So by whatever suitable logic, suitable tattva, we just start practicing. So next time that situation comes, we say, okay, it's fine. It's in Krishna's hands, and not get agitated. So, I mean, there are multiple examples of, there might be so many things which say because of which we are getting frustrated, irritated in life. I don't know. I mean, each of you can think of whatever situations, reasons that irritates you, frustrates you. Just stop get detached from that problem. Stop getting irritated in that situation next time it occurs. That is Vairagya. And we may or may not succeed. But the consciousness is in Krishna, which means that why we are becoming detached to that, because it's not going to help us go get near Krishna, right? It's going to keep us away from Krishna. Our consciousness will be materially involved. So we are practicing to develop Vairagya. So we stop getting affected by these. I don't know. I mean, if anybody has, is it clear? Is the able to understand?
It's probably getting, but yeah, I'll think on it again. So basically, you're saying actually dependency. We have to use logic and we have to increase our dependency on Krishna.
Yeah. So we have to use logic in the sense we should understand, saying that everything is belongs to Krishna. Like, so I can give my own example, but I don't want to. So anybody can give some examples of things that somebody is attached to, which can fit this bill of Vairagya. Any example? Say, I mean, just for example, right? Like, suppose I am attached to my car, for example. Right? If I'm attached to my car, then I have to give up that attachment because that is not favorable for me. Right? Now, how do I give up that attachment? So wherever I am going, I normally take my car. I will stop taking my car. Just like that. Say I will use an auto, or I'll use a two-wheeler. I'll do something else. Right? I mean, I'm saying forcefully we are detaching ourselves from that situation. Of course, it doesn't, okay, this also we have to be careful in applying this. For example, suppose we are very attached to somebody at home. Not that from tomorrow we just start ignoring them. Not like that. The situations of attachment, like for example, suppose that person became unwell, right? And normally we become very, very worked up. Now, next time that person becomes unwell, we will not get worked up, saying that, okay, it's in Krishna's control, like that. Right? So we have to understand, basically the point is that anything material, with respect to relationships, it should not be seen on material platform. With respect to material things, it should not be seen as objects of our sense gratification. So like this, we should apply the philosophy that we know to make sure that we are not getting stuck in any of these material things. Right? And if we are getting stuck, we should figure out some way of forcefully detaching ourselves. It's okay. Some austerities can be done. I mean, see, the point is that actually if we do chanting, etc. properly, automatically we should develop this detachment for these material things. But since we intrinsically, we don't want to give up this attachment, we are holding on to it. So we have to willingly give it up. When we give it up automatically by the power of bhakti, we will get over it. But see, till we hold on to it, we will not become free from it. So we have to give up. We have to renounce that thing.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Is that better? Slightly more?
Good, yeah, better.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yeah, Prabhuji, as you said, by power of bhakti, then the detachment or vairagya becomes natural.
Yeah.
So if some attachment is strong, and if the bhakti is not so, means our practice is not so powerful, then forcefully detaching becomes a very difficult thing.
No, we should forcefully means what? Like, see, the whole point is that we have knowledge. We have the knowledge that this is not what Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam.
Yes.
Right? If we don't have that knowledge, we should get that knowledge. But practically, most of us, we know that, okay, I'm too attached to this, but this is not right. Doesn't look right, but I'm not able to give it up.
Yes.
Right now, not able to give it up is our lack of willingness to give it up. Actually, it's not about not able to give it up. There's nothing like not able to give up. It's just that we are too attached to it, right? When we are too attached to something, what do? We just force ourselves, right? Like, see, how do people quit smoking and all those things? They will force themselves. But for them, the problem is they will come back to it because they don't have anything else to strengthen them, to give them the strength. But for us, we might try once, we might succeed, and if we then think that okay, this is correct, I should not go back to this, and we pray to Krishna saying, Krishna, please give me strength, I don't want to go back to this. Krishna will give us strength.
Yes.
So backed by strength, we will be able to maintain that renunciation, that vairagya.
Right.
Otherwise, see, one is whether we want to give up or not. Once we make up our mind to give up,
Yes.
it might still not be in our strength to do it, but we might just whimsically just give up. Because many times what happens is that when we use too much of logic, etc., we somehow, we give one logic which says, okay, do it. We give another logic which says, don't do it, and we get stuck in duality. But once we are clear saying that, no, this, I know for sure that this is not good for me, I should give it up, then we should just give it up.
Okay.
Just give it up and pray to Krishna saying, Krishna, I'm trying to give this up. Please give me, your mercy. Without your mercy, I can't maintain this renunciation. And Krishna will give mercy.
Okay.
Try it. Try it.
Yes. Yes.
You'll understand what I'm saying.
Yes.
Right? Theoretical won't help. You have to try
Yes.
these things.
Yes.
That is why realization means when you practice, then you will understand, oh, okay. This seemed like theory, but actually, no, it's fine. It's practical. You can do it.
Right. Yes. Yes, please. Thank you. In the previous verse, you are mentioning that, until we get those realization, we should, practice seeing, everything in relation with Krishna.
Yeah.
Again, so that initially that artificial method is okay.
It is required. See, because basically, okay, let me explain to you the rationale there, right? Suppose say somebody is not compassionate towards all living beings, right? And he's say being inconsiderate to people who are suffering. Now, if he continues to be like that, then it becomes jiva himsa, which will prevent him from making progress. So he will never be able to come to without overcoming that particular obstacle, he will never be able to come to Brahmabhuta stage. He has to overcome that obstacle.
Yes.
Now it is standing right in front, preventing his progress. So there are multiple ways to do it. One is, he associates with those devotees who have, and then, that has to rub off on him, and he does that. That is absolutely the most powerful process. But apart from that, like just by hearing, sometimes we can apply, saying, okay, this, I heard in Shastra that, this is not good. I have to give it up. I have to give up this nonsense that I'm doing. And then beg for mercy.
Yes.
And then start trying, maybe small, but we should start trying. See, one of the things we should understand, actually, I realize that actually we put all our progress in bhakti on auto mode. What is auto mode? You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Right? Like, okay, I'm doing chanting, I'm doing reading, hearing. Okay, I'll wait for everything to clear. This is auto mode. But what we are missing to identify is that I am holding on to certain things. I don't want to give it up. No, if I don't make an effort to give it up, then how am I going to overcome it? Bhakti will also not loosen. Bhakti will not cleanse it unless I want to give it up. Then bhakti will cleanse.
Yes.
So how do you do it? You have to first make up your mind saying that, okay, I don't want this because this is not conducive. And this is, this is like as good as devotee association, in the sense we hear from Prabhupada, we realize that, okay, this is not good for me. In Prabhupada association, we try to give it up. Like that. And it's possible. It's possible.
Yeah.
Actually, this is a game changer. You know what we are talking about. This is a game changer in our bhakti, which means that if we just believe that I am not so badly stuck as I want to believe. We all want to believe that we are very badly stuck, so that it gives us some time. That we it's an excuse for us to give up things that are anarthas. But when you come to this platform and understand saying that no, actually it's not very difficult to give up. We can give up, provided we just make up our mind. Now, how do I make up our mind? I just hear from Prabhupada saying that, okay, this is nonsense, give it up. I say, okay, fine, I'll give it up. I'll try to give it up. And work in the association of devotees who can help us to give it up. And like I said, very, very important factor is that we are doing all this depending on Krishna.
Yes.
Not whimsically or not independently. So there is really no chance of failure. It will happen.
Okay. Yes. Also, like, we want to give it up, but it will not happen in a single day. Some strong attachments. So initial means certain failures are. Some failures are accepted by Krishna. So when we are attempting with sincerity.
Absolutely. I mean, we have not been trying at all since still he is with us. No. Now if we start trying, why will he give up our give us up? Right? We have not given up. We are holding on to it very strongly. Still Krishna is showing mercy to us, giving mercy to us, right? Now if you actually start showing some inclination, intent to actually give up something, he will only give us more mercy, right?
Right. Yes.
No, and one thing, I want to encourage everybody to give up that, it's things like, okay, it's going to take a long time. These are all just in our mind, right? Because we have not actually realized strength of power of Krishna, power of devotional service. We are actually belittling, we are reducing its capability, its strength, its power by making statements like this. Actually, what Shastra says, even one nama can destroy all the sins that we have committed and we can commit in the future. Right? So bhakti is like this because it's not different from Krishna. It's super powerful. So we don't have to really constrain ourselves by saying, no, this is a very deep-rooted desire. Maybe it's going to take 6 months to go. It's just coming from our head, that's all. There's really no basis for this. It can get cleaned by tomorrow morning if you really want it. It's very powerful. Okay, anybody, you can try this. Anybody who wants to get over any anartha, it could be anything. Just do this. Okay, try. First, be clear about what you want to get over. Then, as part of your chanting process, beg to Krishna, beg for mercy. Specifically make this prayer, saying that Krishna, Radha, Rani, Krishna, because I want to serve you purely, I want to get over this anartha of mine. Please give me mercy. Whole 2 hours next day, 16 rounds chanting. One day, aberration, right? We are not trying to hear, but we are trying to beg. Okay? So 2 hours you beg from Radha and Krishna, from the bottom of your heart. And then see that what happens by the end of 24 hours. Okay, but obviously, right, we should do it with full sincerity, that we begged for mercy from Radha and Krishna for removing some anartha in me. And then we see what happened after the end of the day, by the end of the day or next day, where we stand with respect to that anartha. But it has to be like complete utter surrender, saying that Krishna, I absolutely don't want this. I absolutely want it to be removed. That kind of surrender. Right? Praying, begging for mercy, and see what happens after within 24 hours. And then we can discuss in the next time. It is so powerful. I mean, answer I'm just telling. It is so powerful that you would be cleansed of it. It can just be one day also. For small things, within one day it will go. Even reasonably big things, one day it will go. Right? So try and see. You will get the experience.
Okay, Prajna. Thank you.
Okay, hope everybody is clear about this, right? So Krishna reciprocates very, very fast. He reciprocates very quickly. If we are sincerely praying, begging, we'll reciprocate very quickly. And it doesn't matter how big, for how many years we've been struggling with that anartha. If we really want it to be removed, it will go. So, yeah, request everybody to try this. Okay, I think I'll stop here unless anybody has any other questions. So, finished only 2 verses, 19 and 20. Okay. There's nothing else. Hare Krishna, Kushvika. Okay, if there's nothing else from anybody, then we can close this session. Okay, thank you very much. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha samaveta gaura bhakta vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Dhanavad.
Dandavad.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dandavad.